If you believe a better world starts from within, you're in the right place. Welcome to Hold the Light. I'm Lori Gunning-Grossman, founder of Hold the Light Collective. This is a special series, a guided exploration of the Freedom Transmissions, a spiritual book about building a strong inner foundation so you can show up more authentically in your life and in the world. Let's begin. The Alpha, the Omega, and Eternal Life, pages 279 through 309. This chapter focuses on beginnings and endings. The teachings here can potentially offer comfort and wisdom to anyone navigating loss or anyone seeking the deeper purpose behind our human experience. While we often think of life and death as two separate things, one to be celebrated, the other to be feared, we're posed with the idea that instead of being opposites, they are partners in the soul's journey. We're being invited to step into a greater understanding of what it means to be human, to embrace both the beginning and the ending, knowing that they are deeply connected, and that when we can accept these cycles for birth and death, we have an opportunity to experience more peace, more presence, and more freedom. This is the Alpha, the Omega, and Eternal Life. Being on this life journey, we're faced with the inevitable fact that everyone's experience ends with death. And this is something we understood when we made the choice to come to body. Every soul comes into this world knowing that it will one day leave. And this is not a tragedy, it's part of the design. Without death, there could be no life. Without endings, there could be no beginnings. We're here to experience, to grow, to love, and to evolve. And when it's time, we return home. And so this offering teaches us that there is equal grief in birth as there is in death, which to the mind, of course, sounds odd. Within each beginning, there is an ending or a letting go of what once was. For instance, when a child is born, the mother must release the life and identity she had before. When a loved one passes, those left behind must release the life that they knew with them. And within each ending, there's also a beginning. The grief we feel in loss is proof of the love that we had shared. And we learn that love does not disappear. It shifts, it transforms, and it becomes something new. And this is why our emotions during transitions are heightened. There's a mixture of grief and love. Beginnings and endings are two sides of the same coin. They hold light for each other, like yin and yang. And within each, we experience grief, fear, love, and deep intimacy, a blending of shadow and light. So, to be human is to experience both the void and the light, and they don't cancel each other out. They work together. When it comes to feelings, we're shown that feelings cannot be reasoned through, even though we try to analyze them, question them, or find the logic behind them. But feelings don't operate in the language of the mind. It's this conflict between the heart and the mind that creates confusion. The heart is energy, the mind is facts. So when we try to apply logic to something that is meant to be felt, we end up frustrated, confused, or even stuck in loops of overthinking. This is why, when we're going through something painful, simply thinking about it doesn't help. Our emotions can't be solved like a problem. They need to be felt, processed, and moved through. Thankfully, our soul understands this conflict between our heart and mind, and so it brings us what we need to find balance within the two, which is, of course, easier when we exercise patience, faith, and willingness, not overanalysis or control. We are also reminded here that Yeshua's presence is not about confusion, fear, suffering, or burden. We create enough of that on our own. The true nature of divine energy is peace, and we can tap into this peace when we quiet our mind and connect with something greater than ourselves. So, if anyone has ever given you a perception of the divine that is punishing, unforgiving, or full of judgment. They've missed the mark. We learn here that we don't have to understand all of life's mysteries, why people make the choices they do, why suffering exists, why loss happens. But what we can understand is that these experiences shape us, and they make us who we are. And the key to navigating them is not about avoiding pain. It's about allowing our feelings to move through us. The moment we deny what we're feeling, or worse, project it onto others through blame, we create our own suffering. To understand ourselves better, it's helpful to understand our awareness like this. Thoughts are the lowest vibration. It's the mind's way of processing external experiences. Feelings and emotions are a higher vibration. These are more aligned with the light than thoughts because they're attuned to vibrations and energy. And intuition and presence is the highest vibration. This is our deep knowing, our connection to divine wisdom. Yet, so often, we give the lowest vibration, our thoughts, more power than our deepest wisdom. Or maybe we react from our emotions instead of understanding them. Yeshua says that he's here to reset this so that our intuition and presence can govern. When we reset so that our intuition and presence lead the way, everything changes. Our feelings and emotions become less overwhelming and polarizing, and our thoughts become more balanced. The result is harmony, consistency, and resilience, even during periods of death, birth, and sudden change. This teaching isn't about how to live a long and wonderful life filled with health, longevity, and joy in every moment. It's about something deeper, rooted in simplicity. It's about learning how to find peace within both life and death. We often think of loss as something to fear, but we learn that loss is part of the balance of creation. Nothing reminds us of what matters most, love, quite like a loss. When we lose someone we love, it can feel like a part of us has been taken from us. And in a sense, that is true. The version of ourselves that existed in connection with them is no longer the same. We are changed. Often, a loss forces us to slow down and can be exactly what's needed to restore simplicity and balance to our lives. Perhaps not in the way we want, but, as Yeshua says, in the way we need. And we're here to learn a bit about the cycle of... Can I take that again? Yeah. And here we learn a bit about the cycle of life and death. We're taught that when we enter a body, our spirit descends from the infinite as our physical form rises from the earth. And then when we leave our body, our spirit ascends back to the infinite and our body returns to the earth. We do not stop existing when we leave our physical form. We simply transition into a different way of being. And this is why, when someone we love passes, we can still feel them. They have not disappeared. They have simply moved from being beside us to being within us. So we all carry hope for our children, our animals, our parents, and guess what? So does the divine for us. The divine hopes that despite life's hardships and injustices, despite what we gain or lose, that we won't be blinded by external perceptions, fears, and burdens. The hope is that we'll set our burdens down. And also that not only will we find peace, but that we will rest in peace in life. And it's suggested here that if we wish to have hope for others in our lives, we should hope for their peace. We hope that everything that ends, something new will begin. We hope our children will be all right. We hope the doctor won't deliver difficult news. We hope that when we are beginning something new, that it'll be worth it and well received. And we hope that after losing a loved one, we'll survive the pain, longing, and grief. We hope to avoid death. We hope we'll remember. We hope we'll forget. We hope it'll all be worth it. And we hope that we're worth it. We hope that when relationships end, we'll all be left in balance and grace. But we learn, Yeshua doesn't exist to save us from suffering or death. When we face challenges, our healing comes not from wanting things to be different, but from having faith, humility, and surrender to co-create a positive change. Faith not just in the divine, but in ourselves as part of the divine. In this offering, it's shared with us that during Yeshua's lifetime, he did not heal nearly as much as he rebalanced. He says here that, if you wish to know me as the balancer, restorer, and redeemer of your balance and peace. Balance is the gateway to peace, joy, and realization. Without balance, these qualities can't fully be experienced in greater consciousness. And so now, in our lifetime, one of the greatest gifts we can give ourselves is balance. When we restore balance between our mind and our heart, everything shifts. And if we wish to find or know Yeshua, we should seek not more knowledge or service, but balance. And the rest, we learn, will work itself out from there. But what about when we lose our loved ones? How to remain in balance and peace in those moments? Well, it's shared here that during the process of losing a loved one, when we serve their needs, there is an incredible mercy and kindness that flows from us. We learn that as they are unstitching from life, our spirits stitch deeper together in a way that will transcend any physical separation. This is love. Yeshua shares that while we hope that our loved one will live or won't suffer in the end, he says that if there's anything to hope for, hope that they understand, accept, and realize the power of their presence and light, and that holding this light of hope is a service that moves beyond hope into the power of prayer. Hope for their freedom and pray for their peace, because both are yours, too. In our journey of grief, the deeper the love we felt for another, the deeper the void we'll experience when they're no longer physically here. The offering tells us the person who has passed is moving through their own process of transition, and you, here in the physical world, are moving through yours. And we learn that grief is an awakening. It's an invitation to a new relationship, one that exists beyond time and space. Loss isn't just an ending, it's a shift. At first, of course, it won't feel that way, and we may feel like everything is broken. But over time, those memories stop being just memories, they become integrated. The presence of your beloved moves from something external to something internal. And eventually, hopefully, you come to a place where you can feel them, not in form, but in spirit. They move into integrated aspects of our being, so we come to know them in a new way, in presence of spirit. So, here are some key reminders that are shared with us to hold on to during times of loss. Your heart is not broken, it's open. That the pain is not a sign of something being taken from you, it's a sign of love expanding. Your soul co-created this experience for your evolution, not to cause harm, but to fulfill a contract essential for your growth. You are whole even when there is a hole. So you can still be in a void, yet still be whole within it. It's a space for something new to emerge. Your loved ones are not gone. They have simply changed form. So they've moved from form into essence, from the external world into the internal. There are no endings that are finite, just transformations. And when you can truly let someone go, you can become one with them. Every new beginning contains a death, and every death contains a new beginning. So both grief and deep love are present in both. And then finally, take care of yourself. Allow yourself to feel. Grief is natural, but suffering happens when we resist the process. So try to avoid behaviors that help you escape processing grief, such as guilt, shame, blame, resentment, or numbing activities. Ask for support and reach for your faith. We learn that after a loved one passes, that they are just as present in our heart as they always were. We will just need to get used to feeling and communing with them in a new and, as Yeshua says, more intimate way. In this chapter, we get a lesson on our sacred connections to each other, and it goes like this. When you choose someone from the realm of infinite possibilities, they also choose you. You didn't just pick them, they picked you too. Our souls choose each other, whether it's a romantic partner, a friend, a child, or a pet. You choose each other to experience what it is to be one with another in life and in death. Once you're connected to a loved one through love, truth, and peace, that connection is eternal, transcending your mortal life. So when you find your sweetheart, you didn't just find each other in this life, you chose each other long before you met. And we learn that even after loss, our loved ones hold us in spirit. We remain woven together, connected by love, beyond time and space. If you are a parent who has lost a child, we learn here in this offering, know that your child chose you as their parent for a moment that stretches forever. The book tells us they were never yours to own but to hold. In spirit, they hold you right back, even if in their passing you feel you can barely hold yourself together. Even when you cannot hold them in physical form, they can hold you in spirit. That connection never ends. We learn that nothing is ever truly final, though, of course, a loss can feel final. As it says in the book, in the moment of death or loss, there is love, the deepest expression of love in its wholeness, which is why it feels like you're breaking. So I'm just going to say this right here. If you are listening and you're someone who's grieving the loss of someone or a pet, I highly recommend you read this chapter if you haven't yet, since I'm distilling this chapter down for it to truly do service for anyone going through grief. I think you can find help within the words of this book. So I am not an expert on grief, but I do believe that there is solace and help found here. So one thing about death that I found interesting in this chapter is when Yeshua says, death is a freedom. Why wait for death to live that freedom? All it takes to live in freedom is faith and forgiveness, not just those who you forgive, but also those you need to receive forgiveness from, including yourself. This is the key to feeling our freedom while we're alive, exercising more faith and forgiveness. And for those of you who have wondered, what does happen when we die? Well, this is what's offered in the book. It's posed as a reunion. In physical death, number one, our spirit and soul reunite and become whole again. It's like pieces of ourselves come back together. Number two, we're freed from the limitations of our physical body and from the dream of our current reality. Number three, we experience a full awakening, fully realized and known. Number four, we reconnect not just with our own complete self, but with the greater spiritual whole, including everyone we've ever loved, lost, or even had difficult relationships with. And number five, this reunion happens in what's described as a pasture of peace, a peaceful, harmonious state of being. And then, as we've heard that expression, your life flashes before your eyes. When you die, it's offered here that there is some truth to that. We learn that at the moment of our death, all our memories and experiences, including painful memories, guilt, gratitude, and joy, transforms into light. We see ourselves and others as we and they truly are, not what we thought we or they were. All the difficult emotions you experienced, grief, pain, hurt, anger, becomes clear and even joyful. And everything returns to a state of love and balance. So what we are being encouraged to bring to our grief process is simplicity. The text shares with us that true wisdom emerges from simplicity. Simplicity means allowing what is, letting grief move through us naturally rather than trying to control it. It means releasing the need to blame anyone, ourselves, others, or even the divine. Because when we resist grief, we resist our own healing. The offering shares this: the lack of peace within self, multiplied by millions or billions of people, well, this is how wars break out. Your beloveds in spirit pray and hold the light foremost for your peace. We're entering a time in our lives when deepening our connection to our soul, our spirit, and the full experience of being alive becomes essential. And this includes embracing both life and death, because loss is something we all face. A big question to ask ourselves right now is, what am I living for? Are you constantly waiting for a future moment when you'll finally feel at peace? Many people spend their entire lives in the grind of doing, working toward retirement, waiting for one day to finally arrive. And when it does, they realize they've forgotten how to simply be present in their lives. If we let the mind run the show, you'll never arrive at peace. The mind keeps us in a state where we can never feel fully satiated or fulfilled. But the soul knows the way and trusts the journey. So the real question becomes, which master will you trust? Your mind or your soul? We learn that when we don't trust our soul's wisdom, we will always be in doubt. As we come to the end of this chapter, we're reminded of this. When loss creates a hole in our heart, it might feel like emptiness. But that space, that void, isn't empty at all. It's an opening where light can enter. It's like that line in the Leonard Cohen song, Anthem, that says, "Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There is a crack in everything. And that's how the light gets in." Grief and love aren't opposites. They're part of the same sacred cycle. Every ending contains a beginning, and every goodbye holds the potential for transformation. This beautiful thought is shared here. With every loss, a billion seeds of light are planted within you. Our journey isn't about avoiding grief. It's about walking through it with an open heart, because ultimately, life isn't about holding on. It's about trusting that love never disappears. It simply changes form. Here's your focus until the next episode. Read or reread the chapter called Resurrection, found in Part 2, The Freedom Transmissions, under Transmission 6, on Life, Loss, and the Lamb. This is found on pages 310 through 320. In the audiobook, listen to Resurrection, found under Transmission 6, on Life, Loss, and the Lamb. All links and information are in the show notes. Thanks for listening. Keep holding the light. If this series is resonating with you, I'd love to stay connected. Visit holdthelightcollective.com to sign up for my weekly newsletter, Build the Light. It's where I share good news for the soul, plus my latest events and offerings. All links are in the show notes. And if this podcast has meant something to you, the most generous thing you can do is share it with someone. Hold the Light is produced by me, Lori Gunning-Grossman, with additional producing and sound design by Jonathan Grossman, who also wrote our original theme music. Until next time, keep holding the light.